What is up, everybody? It is time for another episode of In The Crosshairs, your definitive source for sports betting content and, of course, in-game analysis. I'm your host, Ali Melendez, and we are coming to you live from inside the Lion Sniper studio to cover what's going down in the wide world of sports. And I'll give you a little hint there, it's a lot. Yeah, I am joined today by some of the best Lion Sniper experts and sports betting experts around, and they're going to tell you everything that you need to know in order to bet smart this week. So, of course, coming in hot from the analyst hot seats, we've got none other than Joey Knish and my boy, Ronnie P. Parsons. So there we have it. Now, with Knish, we're going to talk about some football, and we're talking just NFL for today. So, Joey, how are you doing, man?
Allie, what's happening? Thursday, we got NFL football. First Thursday game here on the weekday to get going here for week 2. I'm excited, ready to chop it up. Good to be on here and get it going.
Absolutely. Great to have you as always. And of course, after that, we are taking it down to Disney World in the bubble for a little bit of the NBA playoff coverage with your boy, Ronnie P. So how are you feeling, man? How's your week treating you? Talk to me.
Here's my Clippers futures. Clippers!
Yeah, could have expected that to happen because of our conversation off air. We won't even mention the Clippers. Well, we might.
No, not talking about the Clippers today. No.
All right. Whatever makes you guys happy, but I like this setup. I'm feeling this trio here. We got a lot of sports to cover, so we are going to play a little game later on as well, and maybe I'll let you two argue a little bit for my sick amusement there. But we've got all of that and more on today's show, and if you want even more of the best sports betting content around, you can find all of that on our YouTube channel. That is Line Sniper HQ on YouTube. So check us out there. We appreciate that. But let's go ahead and start rolling on this episode of In The Crosshairs, and let's talk about some sports. And like we said earlier, it is Thursday, which means it's time for Thursday Night Football, of course. And we are going to grab Knish again to talk about, that said football. So Joey, we heard from Sam Dusenberry earlier this week on, of course, Thursday Night Football, but you're going to run us through this weekend's games. So Knish, are you ready to talk a little football and a little futures as well?
You know I'm ready. Are you ready to hear it? Bring it. You know I'm good to go, man.
I'm always ready, baby. I'm always ready.
You're a little low key right now. I need you to crank it up for a notch. So yeah, I'm ready to go here on a Thursday.
Okay.
So
Okay, well, I'll have to bring the energy then just for you. But of course, let's jump right into this and just have a little fun here. That's what it's all about. We're going to start off with tonight's game, the Browns versus Bengals. Now, Sam Dusenberry took the Browns on Tuesday, but we've got some player props now, so let's hear your take on who wins tonight and any player props you like between these two teams. So take us through it, man.
No, it's good. I hate agreeing with Sam. I hate giving him some props here. I wish I was on the, dunk on him for the Cowboys' take. I'm glad he's not here to, yap at me about the Cowboys. But I'm with him tonight. I'm laying it with the Browns. I thought the Bengals' offense really, really struggled week 1. And again, I love Joe Burrow. He made me a lot of money last year. I don't think he's really there yet as a guy that can consistently move the football. The Browns defense, I know they got lit up week 1. They were outmatched versus a good Ravens team. They struggled to move the ball offensively. Totally different ball game here against a Cincinnati team that probably the least talented defense in the NFL. And at the same time, I think Burrow's got a lot of growth to do before he can, keep up in a two-way game with that type of passing attack. He struggled more than I even thought he would last week. Just out of the gate, that it was a pretty ugly game as far as what Cincinnati brought to the table. And I think they'll struggle again. So I laid it with the Browns. Again, same number 6. One prop, though, that I'm on tonight that I like even a little bit better than the side was Joe Mixon rushing yards under. There was some 75.5 out there. I think game script wise, you see the Browns take a lead in this one, and with how much Burrow really struggled last week, you're going to see Cleveland basically force Burrow to make plays. I think they'll load the box. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to hand it off 15 or 20 times. I think Mixon's looking at 10 to 12, maybe 14 carries tonight. And you're talking about he needs, 4 or 5. He would really have to break one, 20, 30, 40 yards, I think, to hit that number. So Mixon under in the rushing yards for me, I like that look a lot. I think we'll be playing from behind. And I think you'll see, Burrow have to throw it, a good amount tonight, as opposed to them being able to lean on the run game.
All right, well, would you look at that? Sam D and Knish on the same wavelength this week with the Browns to beat the Bengals. And Knish, also not feeling the Mixon madness, says take Joe Mixon under on rushing yards. So there you have it. And Knish, I'm sure you have more to say about the Browns and Bengals, but we have a lot more to say about a ton of games because it is a loaded week, as you know. Now, Knish, what do you like in the NFL for the weekend of week 2?
I'm bringing it first up with your G-men here, the New York Football Giants there with +6. I think the number's ridiculous to me. I know they look, bad on a national televised game. Offensive line struggled, that and that. The Bears beat the Lions. Don't get me wrong, that cost me money. The Bears came back against the Lions. Lions' 2 top cornerbacks got hurt in that game. Bears, they got a turnover, made a miraculous comeback. Before that, they're down 3 scores, and I cannot justify the Bears, with a limited home field advantage at best, laying 6. For the Giants passing attack that I thought, looked reasonably well. They couldn't run the ball at all, but I thought, passing-wise against the Steelers, who have a much better defense than I think Chicago's putting out there. Giants +6, and I'm also on a little bit of a money line sprinkle there. One of my favorites this week. I think that comes down. You've already seen it come down at some shops, so I would grab the +6 while you can. The other one, this has been a big mover. It opened up. Eagles were laying 3.5. Then it moved all the way over to where, Eagles are now a dog at home, +1, +1.5. They're getting some key pieces back this week. They're getting Lane Johnson, the star right tackle's coming back. It looks like Miles Sanders will be back in the backfield. I thought the Rams were a bit fortunate to win against the Cowboys Monday night. It's a better defense that the Eagles have than what the Cowboys are running out. The Cowboys are missing a few pieces on defense, especially in the secondary. That allowed the Rams to move the ball a little bit better than I will this week. So I'm going to go with the Eagles as the home dog here. It's another one I like. If you can get it +1, I'd grab it now, as I think that's going to close right around pick. Another nice game to tease up there. If you do that, get the Eagles to +7. So Eagles and Giants, 2 early looks. I think that if you can grab them at those numbers, you'll get a good price going into Sunday.
Well, Knish, I'm glad you've finally seen the light and are giving my Giants the respect they deserve. Obviously, that's why you're wearing blue. Of course it is. Now, Joey,
some Giants blue for you.
Exactly. Gotta love it. Now, Joey, let's look past this week a little bit and see what's happening in your futures market. Now, we've been keeping track of your futures for just over a month now, and now one of those bets has resolved. So, how you feeling? How you doing? Because obviously, I'm gonna have the guys pull up your futures, and why don't you take us through these? You gotta give me your quick take on how you're feeling. Let's let me know if you see anything good, anything new, anything at all. I gotta pick your brain here.
No, let's do it. Let's go right through the folio. Listen, the Rockets was a tough, they win game 1. You thought that they were in this series, and right about that second half of game 3 I felt like they lost the will, like they could compete in that series. The Lakers turned it up, and they just weren't able to get it done there, and it was over from there. The rest of the folio, though, I like quite a bit. We've got our Cubbies in first place, 33-1. That number's come down a bit. Padres in a key series here, versus the Dodgers. They're going against the Dodgers. I think the Padres are the second best team in the NL. They're just going to get up against. It's going to be a race to the finish here versus the Dodgers of who can take the division. But got a nice price there at +750. Our Heat in the Eastern Conference Final, up 1-0. If you're listening to this and you bet the 10-1, I would now come back on some Celtics to win this series at plus money. So if you're sitting with Heat in your pocket, 10-1, you can now get Boston right around +130, +140 to win the series. Take a unit or two on that as somewhat of what I think is a plus EV hedge. I think the series is going 6 or 7. So take the 10-1 you got in your pocket. Come back on a little bit of Boston. We got college football heating up here that we're going to see starting some ACC and a Big 12 starting soon. And our Cowboys with a week 1 offensive PI that should have been called. They should be 1-0. Tough loss there versus the Rams. There's still, though, the other Eagles lost, Giants lost, Redskins, my Skins, I had a little bit of a comeback victory versus the Eagles. I'm still fine with where the Cowboys are sitting in the NFC East. Let's add one. Let's add a long doggy here in the MLB that we're going to have to go. And this was a team that I liked preseason, got off to a horrid start. And now they're sitting out there, and they're like a half game to a game. I look at the updated standings out of the playoff picture. Remember, updated playoffs in the MLB, expanded field, so you're going to get 16 teams in. This is the time where to go as we get closer. Here we're only, less than a month out from the end of the season, where if you can get one of these teams that's on the fringe to make the playoffs, you got to grab it. I seen the Cincinnati Reds out there at 100-1. 100-1 to win the World Series when this is a team that's got frontline talent. Lineup's been, off and on the other year, but they're on a heater now. They've won, I believe they've got 7 in a row here. They're back in the playoff picture, and the market hasn't fully adjusted yet. If they can get in with the pitching they have, that's what it's all about in a short playoff series or a one-game knockout. You can bring the frontline starter, Trevor Bauer, in that to the series. This is one I like a lot as a long dog flyer. All they got to do is get in. All you've got to do is get in, especially when you've got the pitching they have. And then, especially it gives you some options there if you can trade it. So Cincinnati Reds, that number is going to come down if they win a few more games here in a row. So if you can grab that, I saw it at a few shops out there, 100-1, grab it now, and hopefully the Reds can sneak in the playoffs, and then we'll see from there.
All right, hey, I'm not saying it's impossible for the Reds to make it. It's just a little wild. But, sometimes those wild bets pay big money. I mean, think if you had a Washington Nationals future last season, that had to be a nice payout.
I'll remember this. You had no faith in this Reds pick here. That's what that'll be banked up there. So when the Reds are making a World Series run, we can say Allie could have retired here with the Reds future, but she dissed it. So no, that's fine.
We'll talk off air. We'll settle this off air. Don't you worry. You might have to take me to coffee and we'll figure it out. But hey, Knish, that is going to be all we have for you, at least for now. We still have some more action for you to cover on this episode, but that will have to wait until after we talk about the NBA playoffs, baby. So let's go and dribble down to Disney World. That's right, folks. It is time to head down there and see what's happening in the NBA bubble. Now, the Heat lead by 1. I cannot believe it, but the Nuggets pulled off the comeback, and they're now facing the Lakers, and I need someone to talk about this with. So obviously, let's grab Ron from the bench. Ronnie, how you feeling about this bracket now? Are you excited? Are you terrified? Ugh, I gotta know, man.
You know what? I'm going to just really quickly, Allie, I got to say this. Us Clipper backers, as Stephen A. Smith says, we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, and flat out deceived. Playoff P. Playoff Paul George. I'm Paul George. Man, shut up, dude. You talk all this smack and you scored 10 points in Game 7. You know what, Allie? I shouldn't be surprised because Paul George averages 28% in closeout games, and he shoots 33% from threes in closeout games. Dude, you have no heart. You are soft. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. We can continue.
No
heart, Allie. No heart.
Don't be sorry. That's why we have you on. We got to have the real conversations here, man. But of course, I would have had to bet hard money on the Clippers to advance, but I'm glad I didn't. So there we go. Now, Ron, you actually called the 4-1 Lakers-Rockets series before the series even began. So let's go for another one here. Now, Lakers versus Nuggets. Tell us what happens in the battle for the West.
Okay, so everyone's saying Denver has no chance in hell, right? That's what they're saying. Denver's not in the Western Conference for no reason. They are the third best team in the Western Conference. They're a good team. Joker, 25, 11, and 6 assists. He's shooting 50% from the field and a crazy 44% from downtown. This hurts me to say, but he might be the best center in the NBA. He might be, all right? Jamal Murray is grown into a superstar in front of our very own eyes. 27, 6, and 5, 50% from the field, and he's shooting 49% from downtown. Now, there's no value in the Lakers' money line to win the series. That's at minus 750. So don't be dumb. Don't do that. Anything can happen, as you saw with my Clippers, okay? Anything can happen. But, Allie, what I do like is I like the Lakers in winning either 5 or 6. So if you take the Lakers in 5, that's at plus 210. Lakers in 6 is at plus 300. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Lakers plus 5 and sprinkle the other on Lakers plus 6. I think that Lakers are going to definitely win, but it's going to be a series. It's going to go either 5 or 6. Denver is no joke. They have heart, unlike Mr. Playoff P.
You know, Ron, I'm not going to lie and take this lightly. A week ago, I might have called you a little crazy, but at least at this point, yeah, I can see it. Denver's fighting hard, not going to lie. We see it. And you said it yourself. They aren't just going to lay down in the series against the Lakers. But, Ron, I want to switch gears and switch sides. Let's talk about the east side of the bracket for a moment. Now, the Heat and Celtics, baby. Game 2 is just in a couple of hours tonight. Now, Heat took Game 1. who do you have tonight, and who do you have for the whole shebang?
Okay, so for the series, I got Boston at plus 136. Allie, Boston is too talented, man. Like, Jason Tatum's a beast. I love Kemba Walker. I love Jaylen Brown. Yo, Hayward's not even playing yet. So at plus 136, that's a price you can't beat. I think with this series, it's going to be the zigzag effect. So meaning that Heat won game 1, Celtics win game 2. This is going to be a dogfight. Folks, this is the NBA. I'm talking 2 dogs going at it. Look, Boston had the worst defensive game last game, and they still almost won. Jason Tatum carried them, but he had a couple bad possessions in the OT. That's one of the reasons why they lost. And that block was nasty. Oh, my God, what a nasty block. I mean, damn, that was crazy. But I don't see Boston giving up a double-digit lead today. It ain't going to happen. Not in the fourth quarter. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to take Boston money line tonight. I don't like the 2.5 because it's going to be a close game, and I have been burnt in the past when I had a team at minus 2.5 and they won by 2. Oh my God, that's the worst feeling in the world. So I'm gonna do money line, and it's at minus 144. Yeah, Dorit, I looked at my notes, Dorit. I looked at my notes, but minus 144 is where that's at. That's what I'm taking. And I don't see Kemba struggling again. I mean, he went 1 for 9 last time shooting threes. You gotta do better, Kemba. And as long as they don't do a boxing one on Kemba, he'll be fine. I mean, because Nick Nurse has him down. I mean, that boxing one stopped him in games and stopped him in the Raptor series. So as long as there's no boxing one,
sure.
Kemba's going to be fine.
For sure. And I mean, obviously, with the Raptor series, a lot of people saw how close the Celtics Raptor series was, and then they saw how the Heat embarrassed the crap out of the Bucks. So honestly, they had made up their minds that no matter what, the Heat were gonna win the East. But the Celtics feed off of being underestimated now, don't they? And like their chances here, so does Ron. So we'll see what happens here. Now, Ron.
And Allie, real quick.
Yes.
I love this stat. So the Heat are not in the playoffs, but they are 3-7 against the spread after an OT game. I love that spread. I love that stat of the night.
So take it. Perfect. Good to know. And Ron, since we have that game tonight, let's take a little closer look at it. Let's zone in there. And any player props that you like in tonight's game, like what are you thinking? Any thoughts at all? Give it to me.
So Jason Tatum averages 26 a game. He scored 30 the last game. The player prop is Jason Tatum over 26.5 points. That's at minus 104. I'm on that. I mean, he's going to have nightmares at that block shot, man. So he's going to come back swinging. He's going to have a big game tonight. So I got Jason Tatum over 26.5 points. That's my player prop bet for you.
I think our director has him too because he just did a little one of these, and I think you might be winning some money. So there you go. But all right, Ronnie.
I want some money on that, George.
There we go. So Ronnie gave you guys the picks for that game. Now for the player props for the whole week, that's what's going down in the NBA. But I still want to talk about sports, Ron. But we are not going to do it alone. We got Knish here too. Let's bring him back. And since we have both of you guys here tonight, we are going to have a little fun and talk about some stuff, particularly in this NFL season, but even more particularly, keep zoning in there, the Patriots. Now, the Patriots are sort of having a minor rebuilding year, trying to pivot to their new setup, and of course, having to adjust to having Cam Newton at the helm. And I want to get both of your takes here on sort of what the Patriots are this year. I mean, are they a playoff team? Are they conference or division winners? Are they still Super Bowl contenders? Are they anything we should care about? So run us through what you guys are thinking here with the Patriots this year. Start us off, Knish.
I mean, listen, I know, Ronnie, nice NBA guy, but when it comes to the gridiron, there's only one person here who's going to tell you the expertise and give it to you. Listen, this Patriots team, what Belichick does is he zags when everybody else zig. Everyone's going to 4 wide, shotgun, passing offense. He brings in Cam. They load up. They go strong set. They run the ball all over the place. They play defense. They're going to be in a ton of close games. They still have the master of game management, Bill Belichick, who knows how to optimize his roster to the fullest. Listen, it's not going to be the prettiest every week. It's not going to be, from 07, Brady to Moss or any of that. Newton was good enough. He brings an element to the run game that they didn't have before. They didn't have with the statue Tom Brady sitting there. And now he has what he hasn't had in Belichick in his entire career, a mobile QB, which is the game name. 2020 NFL football, there's no better weapon than a mobile QB. Cam's healthy. He's ready to go. This Patriots team is legit. They'll be a playoff contender. You know it.
Knish, is it 2016 or 2020? Like, what year is this? because I'm sorry, Mr. Glass stayed healthy all season long, dude. You think so? Dude, he's 31 years old, man. His quarterback rating is at 86.1% for his career, dude. He's always hurt. Left foot injury last year, shoulder 2018, knee strain 2018, rotator cuff 2016. You're trusting this man to take you? Oh, he did great against the Dolphins defense. Oh, bravo, Cam Newton, bravo. Dude, because they're in a weak division, yes, they're going to be in the playoff hunt. But if they make the playoffs, they're out in the first round, dude. And you know that, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
Listen, what does a older quarterback need when he's had a string of injuries? A year off. That's what he got. 18 months to heal his body, get back in the hyperbaric chamber, get back into shape, top notch. All you heard all off season was Cam's in, he's ready, he's feeling good. They'll manage him right, and they've got the man at the helm, the greatest coach there's ever been in the league to use him, not overextend him too much. Listen. I know, Ronnie, you're big. Oh, the Chiefs, the Ravens, they're so fun. This is real man's football here. Patriots are playing it. I know that's not your style, but this is what gets it done in the NFL. Patriots to win the division and make the playoffs.
Can I just ask you one question, Knish? Just one question?
Listen, you can ask whatever you want. I'm here to help you out. I know your takes sometimes are lacking.
I appreciate that, man. Can you name me a running quarterback that actually won a Super Bowl? I'm just curious, man. Like, what running quarterback won? I mean, what Lamar Jackson do last year, man? I mean, he killed it in the regular season, but what are you doing in the playoffs, dude? What happened? I missed that game, I think. What happened?
Ronnie, it's 2020. Listen, you can go through the annals of NFL history. The game is changing. It's changing right before your eyes. And so I know that you're having a little trouble keeping up with it, but the bottom line is that the game is changing. The mobile quarterback is a weapon. You've seen what Kyler Murray and that can do. You've seen what Lamar Jackson can do. The bottom line is
boys,
they're undefeated this season.
Come back to me. I need to separate you two. It's getting hot in here, but seriously, I gotta admit, I love when we get a little bit of back and forth going on here, and we're going to keep it going, guys. That was so good, but obviously we have a lot more to cover today, and of course it is almost time for your best bets. But first, we have a little game for you both. Now, Knish got to play this game on Tuesday, but I wasn't here on Tuesday, so I didn't get to participate, so obviously
I believe I was the winner of that game on Tuesday.
You killed that.
We're going back to it. Yes, that's the champion of Tuesday. I haven't received my prize or anything, but
we'll talk to the guy who shells us the payment here. But after that, guys, it is my show, so come back to me. Got to play this game, and of course, it is time to play America's favorite game show. The money line is right. Now, the rules are simple, gentlemen. I will give you a bet with no price. All you have to do is guess what that price is. The closest to the actual number is our winner. So let's jump straight into this. Now, Knish, you have the first pick here. Give Ron a chance to get how this game works, since obviously you are a pro. And here is our first bet.
Undefeated.
We have some MVP action for you guys. First off, so this is your honest best guess on Ben Roethlisberger to win MVP this year. Big Ben is by no means the favorite for this award, but hey, he's higher up on the list than you might expect. Now, Knish, what do you think the price is on this bet?
So he won a primetime game. A lot of people saw it. He looked, he looked okay. He looked healthy. He made some strong throws. He was trading right around 50-1 before the game, so that's obviously got to come down. I'm gonna go 30-1. I think you'll obviously see him drop a bit, but he's not in that 15 or higher tier of elite. That if they win a few more, he'll drop. But I'll say he's still right around 30-1.
All right. Thank you there. And of course, the team here is going to enter that pick for you, Knish. In the meantime, Ron, you go ahead and give us your number here.
Well, I'm an Eagles fan, so seeing anything from the Steelers just makes me sick. So can't really make me do this, Allie. But
don't throw up. You're
good. I know. Seriously. I'm going to say plus 800. I mean, like Knish said, he's Big Ben. He's
800?
Not the favorite, obviously. Plus 800.
Is he Aaron Rodgers? What is 800?
800,
man. Plus 800, dude. Watch this, man.
Let's watch it. Let's all watch it. Let's see what goes down. Obviously, the guys here in the studio are going to lock in those numbers for you, Ron, and then we're going to see the actual price on this bet, which is going to be, a price plus 2,500 or 25-1. Now, which of you guys had the closest to that number? Who was it? I think it was.
I think
it was
we all
Knish.
know. We
Oh,
all
my
know.
Atlanta.
Yeah, that's
Welcome, Knish.
This
Oh,
is the
yeah,
champ.
yeah.
This is why, this is, God. Well, I mean, this is why, you can't beat me in this one. Well,
I'm
maybe next
losing
time,
the
Ron, it'll
reins
get a little
of the
closer,
show.
but
It is not good.
800?
Get back
Jesus,
over
what
to
are
me,
you-
but Knish.
He should
You
hire
gotta
the guy
give
at the
us-
sports book if they're 800.
You boys done? You settling it? You working
with
it
a
out?
move.
You working it out? We're on air, gentlemen.
You know what, Knish?
Knish, congratulations. Obviously, give us your super fast opinion here. Super fast emphasis on that. Would you take Big Ben to go MVP or no chance in hell? Give it to me.
No, I'm not taking it yet. I mean, I still don't believe in the Steelers. If they do win, it's going to be based on their defense, which look at the offense. He was basically in game management mode. I'm not touching Big Ben. I still think he's, he could have a moderate season and the Steelers win 10 or 11 games, but it's going to be defensive based. I'm not touching Big Ben at that price.
All right, well, don't worry, Ron, because we do have another bet here for you guys. So let's take a look at the upcoming NBA Finals. Now, what we're betting on here is the two teams who make it to the finals. So the matchup is going to be Denver Nuggets versus Boston Celtics for the finals. Ron, you're going to start us off on this one. What's the price looking here?
So Boston's going to make it to the finals. I'm telling you right now. But Denver Nuggets, there's no chance in hell. People are saying they're not going to do that. So I'm going to go plus 2,500 on this one.
All right, well, Celtics currently at 0-1 in their series against the Heat. The Lakers and the Nuggets yet to play. So, Knish, what's your number here?
So I saw a Nuggets 10-1 to win the finals out there, just period. So based on that, it's got to be a touch higher. I agree. It's finally, Ronnie NBA, you get him off NFL and he gives you some good takes that I agree with them. The Celtics are going to make the finals. So it's got to be higher than 10-1. I'm not going to go as high as 25-1. I think that's a bit rich. I'll say 15-1 Celtics Nugs finals matchup.
All right, so we have our prices now from these gentlemen. Now let's go ahead and see what the price actually is. Of course, set on by our friends over at DraftKings. And of course, they're watching. They're our best friends. All right, so let's see what it is. It is plus
good, dude.
1150, which I mean, for the so-called least likely matchup in the bracket, isn't even that crazy. All right, who won that round? Who did it?
Who won that? Miss Melendez, tell us who won it. Can you let us know?
It was Joey. All
right,
Joey.
A little bit more.
All right, Joey, you got to
little
give
bit
us
more
your very quick take on this. Would you do it? Would the Nuggets have a single chance to make it past the Lakers? Give me your take.
Let me tell you something. I've been a LeBron James stan my entire life, and I'm not starting now. There's no way LeBron's losing to this junk Nuggets team. I know everybody, some of the analytics guys love them. They're not. They were down 3-1 to both. They shouldn't even be here. No, I'm not touching this. I do agree with Ronnie that the Celtics will overcome the Heat here, even down 1-0, but I can't see the Nuggets winning another series in an upset Lake show for me.
Well, we'll have to see. But all right, folks, there you have it. This is going to do it for another little mini episode of The Moneyline is Right. Now, we're going to switch right over now that we have your betting brains obviously on strong. Your helmets are on strong. You're ready to go for the best bets. Let's do it. Now, we're looking for your very best bets, gentlemen. Obviously, this is any game. Any sport, anything. It could be a new bet, an old bet. Does not matter. Just the bet that you are personally taking this week, no matter what. Joey Knish, you're going to start us off. Are you doubling down on that Reds World Series bet? What's your best bet this week?
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be too bad of a call there. I know that even though you trolled it in that first segment, it's a nice one. But I'm going to go with the college gridiron.
Okay.
My baby, college football, my first true love. And we've got a game that has some, now granted, it had some COVID implications, so there's a couple guys that were going to be out for Florida Atlantic. So it's Florida Atlantic, Georgia Southern. There's going to be a couple guys out for Florida Atlantic. We're not 100% sure who. Georgia Southern played last week, looked really good on offense, struggled on defense versus Campbell. They're getting some guys back this week. This total has dropped down on some of the news from right around in the high, I would say the low 50s, I believe it opened at, to 46.5. Too much of an overreaction. It's way too low. Florida Atlantic, Willie Taggart system. They're going to be run an absolutely fire pace. Georgia Southern should be able to eat on the ground versus a Florida Atlantic defense that I don't really respect. Check the weather. I think we're okay. Might be a little bit of wind, but looks like we'll escape anything too severe hurricane-wise. Over 46.5, Georgia Southern, Florida Atlantic. It's dipped down too far. I think market's overreacted here. Got to buy back. Bet it here right before we got on the show. Over 46.5, Georgia Southern, Florida Atlantic. Lock it up, best bet.
All right, cool. And there you have it, the best bet from America's sports betting sweetheart, Joey Knish. Now, what does the man from Philly have to say? Ronnie, go ahead.
Well, we're going to go 2-0 for best bets for me, and I'm on the Boston Celtics, guys. So drive to the bank with me. Boston Celtics will not lose this game. It's a zigzag. It's going to be a dogfight. Be safe. Take the money line. If you're feeling brazen, take a -2.5. But I'm going money line. Money line, Boston Celtics.
All right, cool. And there you have it, guys. There you go. The best bets our analysts have found in betting this week. So thank you so much for that, gentlemen. And hey, thanks for trying this different style show with me, guys. I had a lot of fun. And obviously the money line thing got intense. We'll work on that next time. And of course, thank you all at home for watching. That is going to be everything we have for you on this episode. If you want more of the analyst expert advice or anything that you can find on this show, just head over to our YouTube channel at Line Sniper HQ. You can find everything you need right there. Now join us once again next week for even more of the very best sports betting insight and of course expert picks. This has been In The Crosshairs, brought to you by LineSniper.com, your definitive resource for sports betting content and in-game analysis. For the team here in the studio, I'm Ali Melendez. Thank you guys so much for watching and take care. Bye.